Welcome back to Fred Jackson Show. We just saw one of the many Fred Jackson autographed jerseys, and Anna got one for Christmas from Santa Claus. And I know she has a question as to how Santa got you to sign it, but we'll address that after the show, because I know you're probably pals with Santa Claus.
Oh yeah, we hang out all the time.
Speaking of Santa, how was Christmas morning in the Jackson household?
Again, my kids try to stay up all night so they can see Santa, and they end up staying up too late, don't wake up in the morning. So we ended up getting started about 8:30, 9 o'clock, which is a late start for Christmas. I know I was always up at like 6 o'clock.
Right.
But that's what they get. They try and stay up so they can see Santa, and they never do, and then they get started late for Christmas. But it was always fun, like every year. You know, they get to see the reindeer leave the tracks and the cookies that Santa ate and the milk he's drank. So, and then they get their toys.
And your wife Danielle really likes Christmas. How many Christmas trees do you have in your house?
4 this year.
Oh, that's less than last year.
Yeah, last year we had about 7. So the kids each had one in their room last year. So those were the 3 that we didn't have up. But other than that, we had 4 up, and each one of them had presents under them.
Well, you have plans for New Year's?
No.
No late nights for the Jacksons for
Not when
New
you
Year's
got
Eve.
4 kids that want to do everything with you. So.
Do they stay up to watch the ball drop?
All my kids are up except for my son. He usually crashes at about 11:30.
Okay. Well, we're going to go to Brad Galber, because I know there's plenty of questions out there from people watching, our viewers on Twitter. Brad, what do we have?
Yeah, Fred, the first one's from Rachel, and she wants to know, Fred, what's it like seeing a team like Carolina make the playoffs at under 500? Do you think the format should be changed?
I'm gonna bite my tongue on that answer because it's not cool. But I mean, they earned it. They won their division. You know, they won the games that they needed to win to get in. So you got to respect them for that. You know, it's not easy to get into the playoffs, and they did what they needed to get there.
All right, the next one is from Lance, and he wants to know, Bucky and Sully talked about this a little. Did you see the play with Sue stomping on Rodgers, and would you label him a dirty player?
I mean, I did see the play, and I think he just labeled himself. You know, it's hard to defend doing that, and that's one of the things you got to realize in this game is there's cameras everywhere, and you're not going to be able to get away with stuff like that. And I mean, he's definitely dirty for doing that. Anytime you stand on somebody who's laying on the ground and then, you know, deny that you did something, you know, it's going to make you and label you a dirty player.
Okay, the next one's from Kurt, and he wants to know, with only being a few pieces away, what needs the most attention in the offseason? Coaches, play calling, quarterback, offensive line?
You know, it's a team sport, and I think we all have to get better. You know, we can't look at one thing and think that that's going to change everything. We have to go into the offseason and say, for us to get to where we need to be, we all have to improve in every area, and you know, that can get us over the hump. So to single out one player, one coach, one position, you know, isn't what it's going to take. It's going to take us all.
Okay, the next one is from Chris, and he wants to know, plain and simple, Infredible Hulk, is Coach Marone back next year?
Yes. Without a doubt, Coach Marone is back next year, in my opinion. I think he's done a tremendous job, you know, behind the scenes. I mean, I mentioned it earlier in the show. We've had, you know, different adversities this year that you do not expect to see during the season, and he's gotten us ready and gotten us all to perform whenever those adversities have struck. And I know every guy in that locker room loves playing for him, and I think under another season with him, you know, we take this thing to the next level.
Okay, this one is for your fellow running mate who was on the show, Booby. He wants to know, is Dixon had a nice add to the run game this year? Do you think he'll be back next season?
Booby will without a doubt be back next year. I can't see that guy going anywhere. He's a lot of fun in the locker room. He makes plays when he gets the opportunity on the field, and he's a great guy to have, you know, as another weapon on his team. So without a doubt, I think he'll be back next year as well.
All right, this one is from Marcus, and he wants to know, Fred, how did you do in fantasy football this year? Are you now the oldest fantasy champion in the NFL? If
I played, I would probably be. I mean, My wife, asked her how she did. She's backstage somewhere. I think she lost because she did not take me this year. So, and her brother did beat her, who he did take me, and they were in the same league. So, I have to rub that in her face. But I mean, yeah, if anybody had me on their team and they won, it's because they had the oldest guy in the league on their team. So, you know, props to them.
All right, the last one is from Zane, and he wants to know, did you ever end up punishing Aaron Williams for being late to host your show the other week?
Oh, I beat him up. You know, as soon as I got back to the locker room, I put him in a headlock and just kind of gave him a noogie. You know, but yeah, I mean, I gave him a hard time for it, you know, and he knew it. He called me right away and told me. So he knew he had to deal with Big Brother when I got back. So he said he wanted another chance, but I told him I wouldn't give him one this year.
Wow, you're strict. Hey, when we come back, DJ Dave Jixter and questions from our studio audience right after this.